Hi, John here. Today I've sent an official letter, email to Bill English, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, new Prime Minister, and his Deputy Paula Bennett, married lady, and backed on to the letter I sent yesterday to the British Navy, Lord High, Sir Philip Jones, Admiral, just stating our position with the whakameninga and this flag on the Waitangi Day, New Zealand Day, for 6th of February 2017. So really I'm saying this: we're putting the government here on notice because of John Key, quick exit from being Prime Minister because he's in a problem that the bankers that he represents are caught up in the CABAL bust up that Donald Trump is just going through at the moment, with Hillary Clinton and Obama being found out to be administering a fraud ring of massive proportions of a cabal and mafia run business under Queen Elizabeth II, abusing the King William IV Admiralty court-martial laws to make money fraudulently under this system of mortgage lends and forced law on the common people of the world, the King's common people. Now, so far, Donald Trump has been successful in clawing back the power off these Satan Jesuit Pope Francis administration, running and owning the United Nations with his 193 armies and police military to try and take the world over with their New World Order and this 8-point star that they've stolen off our flag that Queen Elizabeth has given over, that St. Patrick's order to Pope Francis and the Jesuit Black Pope Adolfo Nicholas Patron. Now, they are running this scam in conjunction and in joinder with the Rothschild banks, the Bank of England, Evelyn Rothschild, David D. Rothschild. You'll see the big long list of names that are on my email to them, locked in a commercial contract with us, the whakameninga chiefs in Aotea, New Zealand, inside the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court, to Britain, UK Navy, under this same partnership of King William IV's surrogate king. That's my position as surrogate king, sheriff and creditor, to seize back all the King's royal revenue as silent king no more on the now Queen Elizabeth abandoned the Admiralty ship in Westminster and gone into EU Parliament. So there's been a shift of our trust, the Queen Victoria Trust, by the Queen, out of Westminster, out of His Majesty's Trust Treasury in Britain, into the EU Parliament. She's gone and amassed everything, and the gold, 1 million metric tons of gold, most of it in Philippines, with the King and Queen of Spain, the trustees, and Queen Elizabeth, the head trust and Prince Andrew, the other trustee of our Queen Victoria Trust, and the Akaroa Bank. They have manipulated the whole lot of this flag's jurisdiction and taken it into the EU Parliament under the NATO war factions and the United Nations Pope side of his armies. So between the NATO and the United Nations, Vatican, Catholic Church, CABAL, and Lucifer organisation, mafia organisations, they have conjured up the church and state into that private investment interest, usurping and abusing our flag for the King's common people. So I'm going to read this letter out to you, to Paula Bennett first, to John Key, Bill English first, remembering that I'm stuck John Key as the criminal in this court case in the High Court of Admiralty, Native Court, Westminster government, and also in the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court in the Bay Islands. Okay, so we've put his name locked into contract with us as levy debtor, defaulted contract, and now Bill English is in a defaulted contract already from their legacy of continuation of fraud, and Judith Collins has backed out of it, as well as she's got problems too. They all have problems stemming from Obama's administration and their corrupted system of business transactions and funneling money into their own elite families and royal families. Now that's going to change. It's all busting up now. So this is the letter to Bill English, Moai Powerhouse Group Limited, London, Ngā Atua e Wā Aotea Limited, New Zealand, the Moai Crown King William IV Trust, Whakameninga, 1834 British Hapu Flag of New Zealand. New Zealand Parliament, Wellington, New Zealand. Prime Minister Bill English, Tuesday 20th of December 2016. Today, it's best to say it on video, just in case all my mistakes on my documents. I don't have time to edit them because I'm doing everything myself, including all the law and documents and everything. So, bear with the mistakes. There's no one to edit it. There's no time to edit it. I only do this on the videos because there's no mistakes in that lot. Okay, so dear Prime Minister Bill English, I tweeted Sir Philip Jones, First Lord High, British Navy. Now he cannot ignore this King William IV British flag of Admiralty that made all the commerce in the world, authority, jurisdiction, pound note, banking acts of Westminster Parliament work. So I want you to carefully read what it says over Christmas and make some reasons why your Parliament must now consider your occupation land leases are still under King William IV private contract with the Whakameninga Chief Kingi Taurua and his Moai native surname, Hapu Native Chiefs, British High Court of Admiralty, commercial landowners over your Maori Iwi trustee landowners titles. Now I've got a link there straight into where those are, publicly notified, international. So I'm making this public statement on this video to you from what I wrote today. Please find here enclosed the official Moai Crown King William IV sealed authenticated documents for you to respond to its native court grand jury hearings conducted on Friday the 15th of April 2016 in their non-performance, absence and ignorance that found Prime Minister John Key and Queen Elizabeth II Jesuit mafia cabal leader guilty as bill charged debtor with these Moai pound notes that are sitting in the bank ready to recover the debts outstanding for his and every other politician's ongoing legacy of crimes, including Prime Minister including Minister Judith Collins, Minister of Police, in my case. Oh, I just made it bigger and I can't read it. I've lost where I was. Against me on 77 Cook Street land transaction. Fraud involving Chris Finlayson, Attorney General, Governor General Jerry Mataparai Andrews, landowners of Cook Street, James Pierce Brown and Simon Brent Roundtree, and their court case over the Cook Street property, and sided with the court judges, all liable in these pound note bills. That is now the legal responsibility of our British commercial trading bank partners and Chief of Navy Military Sir Philip Jones to assist my Crown, Surrogate King William IV Sheriff, that's me, to recover the debts outstanding and call up the accounts here in New Zealand, Trust Office, Treasury, Bill English, he's the trustee, liability, your liable bill, and HM Treasury in London, they're liable too, trustees, settlement of the Moai pound note over the population and your Parliament Cabinet, and not our WHAKAMENINGA Hapu Chief's financial investment interests. Investment interests of your own, and not our WHAKAMENINGA Hapu Chief's financial investment interests, and unless you can furnish proof that you never defrauded the public of New Zealand and Moai Crown native commercial landowners, then you have no challenge to our accusations and outcomes of our publicly notified statements, claims that you are managing an ongoing legacy of corrupted, non-Queen Elizabeth II seal of Westminster Government, Parliament, sovereignty, to even govern New Zealand without any legitimate authority or constitutional powers, and a flag of Admiralty jurisdiction to match the Moai Crown King William IV authority to end your land occupation and revert titles back to customary titles under British land laws of England, security of investment. Okay, you get that? Please respond to me and Chief Kingi Taurua before Waitangi Day 6th of February 2017, when we intend holding a court hearing again with or without you or Prime Minister John Key summons to a court hearing, and if he don't turn up, then he is a criminal fraudster at large, shall be arrested by the British Navy military on Chief Kingi Taurua's ex-army and my behalf as Surrogate King William IV Sheriff and Moai Crown Bank, Powerhouse Bank, Pound Note Levy, Debtor, Instrument, Creditor. So as the creditor, on receipt of this notice, you have 21 days in which to respond before Waitangi Day 6th of February 2017. And if you fail to produce any married land title evidence or Crown Queen Elizabeth II land title evidence while she resides in EU Parliament as a conflict of King William IV commercial contracts, Westminster Parliament, we hold as the legitimate commercial landowner with the only King's Admiralty flag in the world to back our British Hapu sovereignty land titles up, then you would be responsible trustee on behalf of all New Zealanders classed as New Zealand Crown Corporation levy debtors, sharing your £1 billion trillion pound note bill charge debt from today, 20th of December 2016, to Tuesday, 17th of January 2017. Within a 21-day period, you need to respond in front of the whole world watching my 68 Facebook sites and YouTube videos, making these legitimate claims, and you ignored collectively over the years. I have collated these statements for hearings and outcomes that will render you and all the Queen's Crown corporate company, private, public and government business practices that benefited and corporate companies liable as a consequence of criminal activity and fraudulent government business practices. that benefited your elite families and not our King William IV common people of the world. In particular, the natives' ancestral lands will now want them returned as being stolen by the Queen's Rothschild banks and church and state Jesuit cabal. You are a third party to my crown, King William IV Whakameninga commercial landowners, Bill English. We are the landlords with writs of execution warrants to seize back any lands throughout the world where Queen Elizabeth II Crown corporations, trusts, plundered, using and abusing our King William IV commercial law of the sea flag of Admiralty jurisdiction for your own private investment, financial investment interests, and that of Queen Elizabeth II royal family financial investment interests, while the rest of humanity goes without this King's royal revenue coming out of their own sovereign lands, including our lands. More recently, I was dismissed by your corporate crown Maori iwi company called Te Tumutumu Pairo, the old Maori trustees, from leasing one of the 28 of my own ancestors' land to Beverly Murray, a Pākehā landowner, trustee of Herenga A12 land block, belonged to my own wānua Moai Uataha ancestors, who have the original British customary land titles, is wrong, and Chief Grand Jury Native Assessor Judge Manahi Parapara Mauhini, original surname, commercial landowner, will correct the land title status inside the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court hearing under our commercial contract Admiralty flag of bank levy debtor instruments of the King of Britain UK jurisdiction and authority to disbuy your assumed monarchy, sovereign parliament authority short of the Whakameninga Hapu sovereignty and Chief Kingi Taurua native surname male dominant commercial landowner absolute title holder authority and my own Moai Wānua title Manawhenua stated Manawhenua statue title standing in Queen Elizabeth II Great Court in London. Bill English, you are hereby served your boss Queen Elizabeth II levy debtor green pound note bill for 970 million trillion Moai pound note as accessories to her mafia, cabal, Lucifer, Nazi scam fraud that PM Prime Minister John Key is caught up in. He is fearing for his life, so high-risk, high-death assassination cases of the cabal, chances of making him disappear before the red coach dragons gets him, before the cabal does under our sheriff's orders in court. Right, the cabal will get him first. Okay? Just to let you know, Bill English, that your mafia mob kills people if they muck around with their laws, bank laws that are screwing everybody. Bill English, you are hereby served this writ of execution warrant, intent to charge these bank pound notes against your own personal accounts, a third party to the crimes of church and state, Rothschild Bank of England, IMF, World Bank, 1 million metric tons of bullion theft of our Queen Victoria Trust Gold Trust Fund that involved the 9/11 Twin Towers bombing, terrorist raids. We, the Chiefs Whakameninga, accuse you being party to that commercial contract business elite operation against displacing people off their native lands at the present onslaught on Syria war is caused by Queen Elizabeth II Crown corporations, EU Parliament, NATO and United Nations, Vatican, Pope Francis, World Army of 193 countries, thugs and pirates tampering with our King's Admiralty laws. Our 1834 King William IV flag here is to arrest pirates and strip them of their stolen wealth. We've proven true, have caught you, Bill English, and Prime Minister John Key, and your CIB police, and judges, and lawyers committing fraud crimes daily as an ongoing business. pattern of offending. You must deny our accusations as we claim are true and correct. If you and who we list here in this document of writ of warrant, writ of execution warrant, do not respond in a counterclaim within the 21 days, then we shall proceed to seize land, property, assets, bank accounts, personal property, businesses from your Queen's Bench Court back into the British Moai Native Title King's Bench Court of Admiralty jurisdiction, to return all land and natural resources stolen from the King's common people back into their customary native title ownership for humanity and self-sustaining government themselves in their own laws. Okay, you get that, Bill? We expect the banks of New Zealand to honour the Moai pound notes against your criminal assets on writs sur notices, sealed under the British King William IV Crown Admiralty flag right here. It's live now, Bill. We've legalised it on the 15th of April 2016 inside the Waitangi King's Bench Native Court, and the British Admiralty ship standing in the paddock in the treaty grounds next to it, next to the courthouse, is our title and the British Navy's title ship on our land. Ownership. Land ownership. Okay, you get that, Bill? Land, Kingi Taurua's land. Owner, ship. The ship and this flag flying at the top. It's going to the top, Bill. When it goes to the top, yours will go on the cross run. The 1902 Union Jack flag belonging to the war veterans like Kingi. He fought under that flag. That's his flag you try to get rid of. Your government, national government, tried to get rid of and put a fern flag up there. That was one of the abuses of running the government on our behalf. We're about to run it ourselves, but we're going to keep you there to drain you of everything you own. A whole lot of you and your followers and all your people who support you and this crime, Bill English. All your crimes of church and state and the money you've made out of it, out of our land, out of our resources, natural resources, out of everybody, out of their birth certificates, out of all their marriage certificates and licenses and everything, fraudulent fiat money using banks. All the banks are now forfeited to the King's Bench Court and Britain, Westminster, Brexit. Okay, you get that? We're expecting you, Theresa May, and Prime Minister of Britain, UK, and the Secretary of Defence, Michael Fallon, to follow our orders as the straight partner in this Admiralty court martial law over the whole world. Okay? So now we have I'll read this again. We expect the banks in New Zealand to honour the Moai pound notes. That's the ones I showed you, the green one, the 970 million trillion pound note. We're going to draw off that pound note. All the other pound notes will come out of that, and it'll never run out. Okay, for every country in 250 countries that applies to this flag jurisdiction to get their land back, we write the note out to that country to join the King Ernest Augustus, the fifth successor to King William IV. Now, I must say this before I go on, that Queen Victoria is not the legitimate monarch, sovereign authority. Although she's Hanover, in Hanover law, Salic law, forbids woman succeeding to the throne. So she's not supposed to go on the throne. Something happened to King William IV, her uncle, and I'm suspecting they killed him. They poisoned him to the Rothschilds and the Queen. Poisoned. This is King George VI and their families, with Queen Elizabeth, their families. murdered him and took the title of the Hanover title and gave it to a queen. That's not supposed to happen. Now, we're contesting that. We're contesting that as the partner of King William IV, the commercial trading bank partner and authority over the whole world to get rid of that and seize back Queen Victoria Trust into King Ernest Augustus V, the successor to King Ernest Augustus I, the brother of King William IV. He should have succeeded straight out under male dominant line. Now, all the corruption has come out of the Queen's tampering and the Rothschild families tampering, royal families tampering with our contract. You have tampered and interfered with our contract. I'm expecting the British military, navy and redcoats to seize back the control forthwith from this video statement and this order that I've just put to you, Philip Jones, First High Admiral, Sir Philip Jones. I've sent the email to you of this and a list of names that we accuse as the cabal, the Illuminati, the Lucifer and the Mafia tied up in the Rothschilds banks family and Queen Elizabeth, King George the First, the Second, the Fifth and the Sixth lie inside this flag, whacked out. And only King George the Third, King George the Fourth, King William the Fourth and King Ernest Augustus the First. Those are the only four kings that comes under this flag with the black line around the red cross to keep that Satan lot of King Georges out. They're the ones that corrupted our title and our contract. You have interfered with our contract, Bill English. I'm saying this on this video as a raw statement of claim against you and your Crown Corporation, New Zealand Crown, New South Wales government, Queen Victoria, corrupted Crown system. And we're seizing back all the assets derived in a silent king's bench court. Look it up. In the courts, there's a silent king and silent no more. I'm speaking for King William IV, and so is the chiefs here in the Whakameninga native surnames only, not Maori. The Maori will get a pound note on the head, a £1 trillion note on the head, if they tamper with this contract. Do not tamper with this contract. They are in the 1835 Declaration of Independence, tied in the 1840 Treaty of Waitangi contract with Queen Elizabeth II, and she's abandoned ship of Admiralty and gone to EU Parliament. You got a problem. You got a problem, Bill English. And so far, Danny Watson, you get a pound note on your head, a £1 trillion note on your head, if you get in the road of this Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court contract. Stay right out of the way of Kingi Toto, Chief, and those who I'm selecting as the grand jury over your lot. You stay in your Maori side of your contract with your absent Queen Sovereign Authority. And now you're saying you've got sovereignty from Bill English and Paula Bennett. You stick with it. You stay like that because we're going to round you all up and stick it to you on these native lands that you have no title to over the Admiralty of Britain, UK, Westminster title. How you got your flippin' ass here on these lands is this flag in the 1834 Whakameninga title contract to Britain, UK. You people have cut off Britain, spite your face and your nose, in Australia, you've cut yourself up and tried to crawl back into Queen Victoria. I stopped you. I stopped you and told you, don't do that. I've got it on record, on video, to the Victoria government. At that time, they can't do that while we're in a contract with King William IV jurisdiction and authority over Queen Victoria's authority. The Queen has no admiralty of her own. The Pope has no admiralty of her own. The admiralty comes from this flag for America and will shut America down of using it anymore for abusing this law of the King. They don't have any authority over a straight admiral title. They're only vice admiral, that's second hand. Even Prince Philip, the Queen's husband, is only a play admiral. It's not real. The same as everything in America is not real. It's just a fad, fiction, and fake title. The same as the Queen's coronation. Right, you got that? You got that? I'll make this quite plain and clear that the taumata that are watching me and following me, take note. I'll just send these emails to you too. Manahi and Bundy, read them and understand them, because if I make mistakes in my writings, in my documents, authenticating my documents, the seals fix it up and this video. I can't make mistakes in my voice that covers all the technical little letter, capital and missing letters in words. I'll say what I say, my word against yours. If you can't match what I'm saying, you didn't have any answer to anything I say. That's it. It's the law. Right, I'll finish this off. Queen Elizabeth II, you are hereby served this notice of intent bill charge notice, and I've got the threads there, my Facebook sites. I now await your response in urgency. Yours sincerely, John Carthy Wanoa, creditor, surrogate, King William IV Sheriff. Notice to the agent is notice to the principal. And the Parliament, all the names of the politicians, you are hereby served this notice of intent to bill, debtor, charge you, or as party to John T. Panama Papers, Mafia, Cabal, ISIS, Lucifer, U.S. Federal, State, Obama Administration, fraud, and conspiracy did defraud the people of America and the world, including us here in New Zealand. So that's the letter to Bill English. To you, Bill English, take note. You have 21 days to the 17th of January to refute what I'm saying. If you don't reply, it means the law. It's the law. What I say and what these documents say, regardless of all the spelling mistakes, my voice is the law on top of those mistakes. And the seals are the law. And the flag is the receipt of a king. Okay? That's the king's word. Says who? Now this is a letter to email to Paula Bennett. I sent it 3:38 p.m. this afternoon, 1 hour ago. Dear Paula Bennett, this is your notice to carefully read over the next 21 days. Has been filed into the British Navy Admiral First Lord High Sir Philip Jones, our Moai Crown King William IV surrogate king partner, that me, with me as his New Zealand Moai Crown surrogate King William IV Sheriff, bank creditor, partner in a British land title commercial private contract with Chief Kingi Taurua and his grand jury of WHAKAMENINGA chiefs, the commercial landowners, over you and your Maori iwi trustees, Queen Elizabeth II Sovereign, who is in the EU Parliament and not Westminster, now makes you and she in a direct conflict of interest with the native surnames Moai Chiefs WHAKAMENINGA, commercial landowners, partners to the British Navy, military and Westminster, British UK government establishment. It's up to you now to contest our Admiralty flag, which to respond flag jurisdiction with your Vice Admiral law of no fixed title to our land. You have 21 days in which to respond to our claim to have the superior commercial land title over your Maori land court titles and Maori trustees land ownership status and Crown land ownership. Crown land being New Zealand Crown land ownership. You can't mix it with the British. When you have no Queen sovereign authority, she's gone. No Queen's sovereign authority or Parliament, you must now show me and Chief King Itotua and his grand jury your Maori Crown corporate land titles that proves you are claiming to be a Maori woman, all of it, must prove to Chief King Itotua, a Moai native Tahitian commercial landowner. Show us your title that proves you have a superior title to us and a flag of Admiralty to match our British Admiralty flag that got you occupation title on our Moai Hapu land in the first place. If you fail to respond, it means that you don't have any authority to occupy the land you reside on and can be stripped off you if you can't prove your claim title. You are hereby served notice today, Tuesday the 20th of December 2016. Sincerely, John Kakiwano, Creditor, Surrogate King William IV Sheriff. Notice to the agent is notice to the principal. Parliament members, you are hereby served this notice of intent to bill, debtor, charge you all as party to John Key, Panama Papers, Mafia, CABAL, ISIS, Lucifer, U.S. Federal State, Obama Administration, fraud and conspiracy did defraud the people of America and the world. So that's the statement I make today on the record from the 15th of April 2016 in that court hearing. We opened up that court for business, commercial, trading, bank business, and we legalized this flag and its business and its pound notes for as use as levy debtor instruments, and we legalized the acts of King William IV 1830 to 1837, just those laws we apply as they are in their raw state. We haven't used them yet since the 20th of March 1834. Captain James Reedy Clendon threw his anchor into our land, King East land, at Kororareka, and said, I proclaim the land belongs to His Majesty the King of England, King William IV. There. That established our British native title, right there, under this flag, and everybody on it, their titles were seized back into the British titles. Whatever you did with it after that, we are auditing all your movements. Got English? We are auditing by order of our own higher jurisdiction of authority and constitution to administer our business and our economic development projects straight to Britain. Our partner, dual government, the Moai Crown, federal, state, Commonwealth government of the world. Dual government with Britain, UK, the new British government, and Theresa May, Prime Minister. Take notice of what I'm saying for the record there, the record in Westminster, that the WHAKAMENINGA chiefs, native surnames only, are coming to Britain to see you in Westminster to take up our Queen Victoria Trust, seizing it off Queen Elizabeth, sacking her as head trustee, and I'm going there as its new head trustee. Okay, you get that? So I'll be living there with you, sorting out all the native titles in that world on this blueprint native title that the Queen and the Rothschild banks and the popes used all these years to screw all the native people off their land, including Syria and Afghanistan. All those countries have used the martial law to take them off their lands and put themselves in there and dig it all up and cause all the pollutions, fracking fracking and polluting the skies, all of that. You're getting a bill from that pound note, the green one, you're going to share it all. Theresa May, you're the partner with us in that green pound note to recover all the debts that the Queen has accumulated and derived using the King's Admiralty court-martial law to displace people off their native lands and displace Americans off their land. They get it all back this way. So by Donald Trump winning the elections a second time around, it just shows that John Key was hitting the banks with Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama to create as much chaos and racketeering as possible to make the black people look bad and take them off their lands and throw them anywhere in the world and cause them to act the way they do. Muslims acting out violently. It's not like Muslims either. They're being driven off the edge by these thugs and pirates. John Key and your government. Unfortunately, Bill English, you might be a good guy, but you wear its bill. You are its legacy and you are its dragon power that was trying to rule the world, the New World Order. And this 8-point star, we're going to get it back through King Ernest Augustus V and his son, Prince Regent Ernest Augustus. They're going to come with the WHAKAMENINGA as our partner. They're our partner, the King and the Chief, and this flag that King William IV gave us to protect our British business and Pacific Islands business. This is the Pacific Islands flag with the blue Sea of Admiralty right through the well. 250 countries this flag's going with this 8-point star, and our Commonwealth Government of the World under the Moai Memorial and King William IV Memorial titles. Mana Whenua is Moai and standing in London, standing in Dunedin, South Island, standing in Auckland, New Zealand, the museums, standing in New York, Washington DC, France, Belgium, and London, Singapore, and Chile. It's standing in other countries, but I'm just saying the main ones is our Mana Whenua. That's Mana Whenua, not Tangata Whenua, Mana Whenua. And those Maori who are here protecting their interests in this flag, unfortunately for you, you're stuck in the Queen's contract, which is completely fraud. That's 1%, this is 99%. The 1834 part of this flag, the same flag, is a difference. This is a British part we're doing. You're doing the New Zealand land side. You've got to deal with the land as Tangata Whenua on the land with fixing up your government in Wellington's problems. We're going to leave them there. The British and us, the WHAKAMENINGA, is going to leave them there to run themselves out. And you Maoris have to try and fix it up yourselves. You have to go and get your money from Bill English. That's what's happening with the Maoris. I'm letting them find their way and chop them off. I'm chopping them off, Kingy. Unfortunately, you're a military man, which is fortunate. You know what happens when you get in the road, you get to chop. Okay? So we're being brutal here. That's what the British are, and that's what the banks say. They're brutal, they don't care, they've got no heart. So we're being brutal to separate one and the other. The Maoris that way, the Moai this way. You're one or the other. Anybody can be a Moai in the world. If you believe in what we do, then fine. Do If you don't, you jump on the Queen's side and stay there with Hillary Clinton going nowhere, going mad in the head, okay? All those people are going mad in the head because they can't accept loss. They don't know, they've had it so good with all that control taken off them. We're going to take it off everyone, this Admiralty law that got them on that land in the first place. The King put them there, not the Queen. The Queen buggered it all up. And that's where all the fraud is. We're going to seize it all back. So all you native people around the world and Dakota, your day of reckoning is very near. Just watch this flag move in mysterious ways. Okay, so that's about all I think I can say for now on this video. Is that once more, for the record, Bill English, you're served today notice to respond to myself, the Sheriff, and King's Surrogate, and the Chief Kingi Taurua, commercial landowner of the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Court, its land, and Titi Marae and its land, as the native landowner in commerce under British law, against you, Bill English, under Australia New South Wales law, and Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth, monarch, sovereign. That's neither here nor there. You wear the bill. You've got a billion, trillion pound note, a blue one, on your head, Bill English. That's yours. And I'll make this statement quite clear on this video today, that on the 27th of January 2017, thereafter, that pound note is legal tender against all of you people in New Zealand. That is a New Zealand debt against the land only. The trillion pound note is on each of your heads. If you get in the way or tamper with any documents, because the red coats are watching. The red coats in England are the King's men. They are the King's men to make sure no one gets in the road. So I'm contacting them tomorrow. I'm contacting the dragons, red dragons. That's the Welsh people, the original England people. I'm contacting them that I will pay them the pound note and pay the British Navy the pound note, because I'm only paying the people who are in contract with us, commercial contract with us. They're the only ones that get paid out of the pound note and their share in it. Okay? So that's how this contract works, Bill English. As for your contract, you've got a problem being audited. John Key and the Panama Papers are going to be audited. We'll have auditors and pay them with a pound note that comes out of your pocket. We're going to bill you. We're going to bill all your tax followers and all your supporters right through the country, and especially in the South Island, all living well off. You're going to get the bill for occupying the land. The chiefs are going to have their say on the King's side. Okay, the Queen is falling apart like America. All you people have had it good too long. It's now time for the natives to react, and those who are on the native side of their own lands to take back control under the King's jurisdiction of authority. So, Bill English, you're served. Paula Bennett, you're served today. And also Sir Philip Jones, you are notified of our intentions with you to recover all the debts. You are obligated to assist us in the court orders that we put together, and the documents I have are legal. They are legal as much as the flag is legal now to use in commerce, because we're going into commerce straight off, right through the world. straight away. We have projects and tidal turbines ready to go in a big way. Hydrogen economy is ready to go. For the record, in the Waitangi Marae King's Bench Court, for the grand jury, please take note. I've got them picked already. Now, I'm picking the right people with the right surnames, and they appoint other non-native surnames. Manahi Parapara Mohini is the oldest names as Manukau names as well. So he's responsible. He's a Justice of the Peace to go into court and to speak on behalf of the WHAKAMENINGA, and all the legal documents that I give to him, he'll have to correct all the spelling mistakes, and if I find time I'll do them for him. But he's telling me there are certain rules to follow and dress code and all of that. Well, I only look at it this way, Manahi. I'm only here once, and I only say things once, and I do things once. I don't go over the tracks again, especially when it comes to law. It's the video is my evidence, straight to anyone listening and being accused, that if you cannot refute what I say on videos in front of the whole world, it'll be used against you as evidence, admissible in any High Court of Admiralty in the world, including Waitangi Marae King's Bench Native Court. All my documents on Facebook, whether they got spelling mistakes in them or not, holds the seal of King William IV and the 8-point star New World Order, St. Patrick's Church Order in Dublin, and it holds the flag of jurisdiction of the British Navy, our partner. It holds the seals of King William IV, jurisdiction here, source and his ship of Admiralty. It holds the seal of Moai statue, that's my own family, Tahitian, East Island, in London and in this country as Mana Whenua, not Tangata Whenua, Mana Whenua, the original earth spirit god title that's missing out of everything in the whole British system. Has no spirit title. The Queen borrowed our Moai statue in 1868 and carried it off to England and put it in hiding for 100 years, and she used King William IV's Admiralty title to shift it. Okay, so that's what I'm using. I'm using that shipping transaction and shipping price position and manifestation title of cargo to shift goods across the ocean from one country to the other. I'm using Moai as the stolen property, the stolen memorial, and that's worth a lot inside that green pound note against you, Queen Elizabeth and Queen Victoria, and the influence of Rothschild families marrying into her and bearing her kids that run the CABAL. You're on notice. This pound note belongs to the people of the world who joined Moai and King Annas Augustus V and his son, Annas Augustus, Prince Regent, to claim back the king's title and take and strip the Rothschilds and the Queen's royal families, 300 royal families, out of it and put the Britain back and make Britain great again and make America great again. Now, Donald Trump, this one's for you. Do not tamper with anything that is written in the King William IV and King George III's title of Admiralty shipping merchandise across the oceans and the gold that's in the Philippines. That gold belongs to our Queen Victoria Trust, which will be transferred into the King's William IV Trust under his descendants, King Ernest Augustus V and his son, Prince Regent Ernest Augustus. Title, holding in Westminster, England. He's going to be the King of England. He's already the King of Britain, UK, legitimate, in Hanover. Legitimate. Women can't succeed to the throne. Select title. Select title forbids Queen Victoria from ever being the Queen of Britain, UK. Might be a Queen of England, but not a Queen of Britain, UK. Okay, so we're getting rid of the Queen of England title and putting the King of Britain, UK, and keeping Britain together. That's up to Scotland and Ireland whether they want to stay in it or go into the EU Parliament, because it's falling to pieces behind Obama and Clinton's Muslim outrage and war. Cabal. You can take your Rothschilds, Israel, Netanyahu wars and jam it, because it's all over for you now that this flag's live. It's legal. It's legal. It's coming after you. The sheriff is going to get you. Okay? Thank you very much, people. Have a nice day, because I'm just going to have lunch at 5:07 p.m. Bye for now. See you later.